On June 21, 2021, President Biden stated, quote, "If you are vaccinated, you're not going to be hospitalized. You are not going to be in the intensive care unit. You are not going to die," end quote. Again, simply yes or no. By that date, were there vaccinated Americans that were hospitalized?
What I can tell you is at the time, CDC was releasing increasing data showing the immense protection of vaccines against severe disease, hospitalization, and death.
But by that date, were there vaccinated Americans that were hospitalized?
Maybe I will say this. We still, to this day, do not have data on people who are coming into the hospitals who are vaccinated. That is a data point that we have lacked.
But we knew from the trials the people that got vaccinated still got COVID. In general, they didn't get as sick, and they were less likely to be hospitalized, and therefore less likely to die. But it was still happening.
What I will say is my understanding of the initial clinical trials that were released in November, December, before I became CDC director, was 96% protection against symptomatic disease. In medicine, we never say never.
Exactly. Exactly. So thank you. And that's the problem I have with this statement from the leader of the free world, is to say something so definitive. You're not going to be hospitalized. Even in the trials, people were hospitalized. You're not going to the ICU as a definitive statement. That was misinformation. That was divisive. That was dangerous. And it put you in a very hard spot. It put you in a very hard spot as you are to be the leading voice for America. And I applaud so many of the things that you have done and did do. But this is a problem, and that's the point I'm trying to make, that we cannot let this happen. We have to let science be the science.
If you're vaccinated, you're not going to be hospitalized, you're not going to be in an ICU unit, and you're not going to die. So it's gigantically important that we all act like Americans that care about our fellow Americans. One last thing that's really important is we're not in a position where we think that any virus, including the Delta virus, which is much more transmissible and more deadly in terms of unvaccinated people, the various shots that people are getting now cover that. You're okay. You're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations.